So I know Nikola makes electric trucks powered by hydrogen fuel cells. So first of all, can you explain, like in layman's terms, what is a fuel cell and how does it get a car running?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on again. A lot of fun. We're going to have some fun today. A fuel cell is, imagine like the electrical grid coming on your vehicle. It houses, it can create energy on the fly. So you store the energy in hydrogen. The fuel cell takes that energy and it takes that hydrogen and essentially creates energy out of it. Out of that hydrogen, the only byproduct is water. So what happens is all that electricity goes straight to the motors and to the batteries. So it's like a permanent generator on the vehicle that doesn't run out of energy so long as you have hydrogen. And that's why fuel cells in some situations are really good applications.
Mm-hmm. How is it different than other electric cars we see on the road powered by batteries?
So a battery electric vehicle is charged up from the grid or some type of source of power. And then as you drive, it just depletes, right? And so you always got to plug it in. With a hydrogen vehicle, you still have a battery on the vehicle, but it's much smaller. And then you have this hydrogen generator that's taking hydrogen, creating electricity, and it's constantly keeping those batteries charged, and it's constantly powering the wheels. So it gives you much further range, and you don't have to worry about charging it.
It's also much lighter, right?
It is. On a big semi truck, it can weigh up to 10,000 pounds lighter than a battery electric truck. So that's really the advantages of hydrogen, is that how much lighter it is compared to a battery electric vehicle.
Is it why you specialize in semi trucks, instead of passenger cars?
Yes, because in semi trucks, weight is everything. It's the whole entire thing, pretty much. So weight has everything to do with freight, how much freight you can move, and also the efficiency of the vehicle to move freight. So the lighter you are, the more money you make on every load. And and to be honest with you, there's a lot of money in trucking and there's almost no money in cars. That's why we love trucking.
Mm-hmm. So when I first heard about hydrogen cars and looked up on the internet, I learned that there were actually a few hydrogen passenger cars in the market made by Japanese car makers. Like I think Toyota has one, Honda has one. They are only in limited markets. It seems that one of the big challenges to make them more available is building out recharging stations like the Tesla recharging network we see. What is your approach to this problem?
Yeah, so I mean, absolutely. Like hydrogen cars are actually pretty cool, and they're coming around. Like Hyundai's got a really cool SUV that's hydrogen. Honda's got a cool car that's hydrogen. Toyota's got a new car that's hydrogen. The problem is, like you stated, there's no infrastructure of hydrogen, like very limited. But what Nikola's doing is we're building 700 hydrogen stations across the country for our big semi trucks. So these are massive ones. They can do thousands of cars without an issue. And these stations are going to be spread out across the whole country. And soon people will be able to buy those hydrogen cars and drive all over the country. Now, we don't specialize in cars. We only specialize in trucks and above with hydrogen. So we do have a hydrogen pickup truck coming out called the Nikola Badger. It's probably one of the most anticipated automotive reveals in history that I've ever encountered in my life. And it is a hydrogen electric pickup truck that can go much further than the Tesla truck, much further than the Rivian truck, and even much further than a Ford F-150. So the idea is you get all the performance out of electric vehicle, the performance and zero emission, but you get the power and the range of hydrogen. And it's one of the reasons why it's the most anticipated reveal that I know of.
Yes, we're going to cover more about the Badger later on. I want to ask you about this debate between hydrogen and battery first.
Sure.
So, besides the recharging infrastructure problem, there's also criticism about, actually one of the biggest critics is Elon Musk. He's made fun of fuel cells many times on different occasions. I get that his main issue with this technology is that it takes too much energy to separate H2 from water, and then it's also expensive to store it. What's your response to that? Does he have a point?
Well, I think the easiest way to think about this is he does not use batteries to send his rockets to Mars or to space. Batteries don't fix everything. They're not the single solution to everything in the world. So is it more, does it take more energy to create hydrogen, and is it less efficient in the total run? Yeah, it is a little slightly in some situations. But the efficiency is really not the big deal. It's about the weight and what the cost is per mile to move a vehicle. We can create hydrogen cheaper than you can actually drive. So the per mile cost of hydrogen can be as cheap or sometimes cheaper than battery electric. And that's because you're not paying the high utility rates for electricity.
Okay. How does Nikola produces hydrogen now?
We build all of our hydrogen through clean energy directly from the energy source. So we go contract with like wind farms or solar farms or whatever. And with that, what we do is we take that energy and we produce hydrogen 24 hours a day with it. And then we can produce that very cheap, like, $2, $3 a kilogram. We're under $4 right now a kilogram for hydrogen. So why is that important? Because $4 is cheaper than diesel. And when you get down to $2 or $3, you're cheaper than electric vehicles altogether. So the entire idea that like, oh, hydrogen's more, is a fool cell. These guys are they're more inefficient. Well, inefficiency really doesn't have anything to do with this situation. You know how much inefficiency is in the grid because you're burning natural gas or coal to power your electric car? That's the inefficiency. I mean, everyone has inefficiency. It has nothing to do with this situation. And so people just have to be realistic. It's the cost per mile that matters. That's it.
Mm-hmm. It's also very interesting that in the same week of Nikola's IPO, Tesla says it's going to ramp up its own semi-truck production, the Tesla Semi. What do you make of that news? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, just, previously to that, he had said that they weren't coming out till 2021 or 2022. And then a few days later, he changed his mind because of Nikola. I mean, it's nice to know that we're affecting Elon's decisions now. He's got a lot of things to deal with. And now he's got even probably a bigger problem to deal with, and that's Nikola, because we're selling, we sold $800 million worth of contracts to Anheuser-Busch, and he got they bought like 40 or 50 of his trucks. That's it. So our cost per mile is cheaper. We have nothing against Tesla, but you can definitely tell that we're scaring him, because now he's dedicating all of his resources over to the semi-truck program. And I think it's kind of a compliment, because you don't really make money making cars, and he knows that now. And so now he's coming after the truck industry because he realizes that we're first, and he realizes that there's better money in it.
Mm-hmm. Nikola has 3 models of semi-trucks, right? That's in production or ready for production?
Getting close, yeah. So we have a couple. The main ones really are there's 2 of them. One's called the Nikola Tre, which is the European version. It's a flat nose. It's called a cab over, and it's very short, so you can get in and out of these really tight cities, like inside of Europe and inside of like New York. It's all battery electric or hydrogen. You can order it either way. And that one comes out. We're planning on sometime around according to our filings, they were sometime around the middle to end of 2021. With coronavirus, obviously we don't know exactly what date that's going to be because of the delays. But we're all, that's one of them, and that's an amazing truck. And then we have the Nikola 2, which is the US version of, it's a much bigger truck that drivers want to be in when they're driving longer runs, and more aerodynamics. You're going faster, so you don't want that flat nose. And so when you're on the freeway, the Nikola 2 makes a lot more sense to move freight. And so anything up to about 300 miles, the Nikola Tre is awesome. The Nikola 2 is really good for anything over 300 miles, which is obviously hydrogen.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Tesla competition, you also have an answer to its Cybertruck. You have the Badger pickup. Tell us more about the Badger. Why is it such a big deal?
Yeah, the Nikola Badger is just cool. I mean, I'm a real truck owner. I've had trucks my entire life. I grew up on a farm. I lived in the country. I broke trucks. We would tow trailers with them. I've towed boats. I mean, it's very interesting, because my expertise and my history is all about trucks. And when Tesla built the Cybertruck, they didn't build it to a truck owner. They built it to the Tesla fanatics, which is awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they'll sell a lot of them, and it's really good for everybody. I'm not actually bashing on it at all. I don't particularly like the look of it at all, but it's fine. I mean, if you can get people to buy your product, good for you. But why is Nikola so great? Because it's really built to compete with the Ford F-150. It's a real truck. You're talking about, a real truck bed, being able to put ladders on it, to be able to pull trailers with it, put your kids in it, drive to school in it, go off-roading with it. This is you can put a 4-wheeler in the back. You can put you can tow a boat. it's a construction truck. You can do everything with it. You can power a whole truck, a whole construction site. It has 15 kilowatt power export. Mm-hmm. This is awesome. And so that's why the Nikola Badger is so exciting is it's a zero emission pickup truck that runs off batteries and fuel cells, and it can give you up to 600 miles on a charge. No one else even comes close to that. And that's why it's so exciting.
So you're actually giving battery options to a lot of your cars. Is that because of the ongoing hydrogen infrastructure that's been built out?
No, it's because I don't believe one size fits all problems. And I'm very vocal about that. So battery electric, when you're driving around just the city and you're not towing things, it's much smarter to have it. Mm-hmm. When you're towing trailers or you're driving far distances, it's smarter to have hydrogen. Everyone needs a different option. And so in trucks, you use a lot of energy with a truck. You're pulling trailers, you're going up hills, it just sucks the life out of your batteries. And so sometimes you need a fuel cell, and that's why we offer both.
Sounds smart. So what's the production delivery timeline for the Badger looks like right now?
We don't know the exact date yet. We're working with choosing our OEM right now. It'll be announced, I believe, here shortly. We got 3 big OEMs that are helping us, that we're talking about producing this with. So it really comes down to who we choose, when we choose it. But we anticipate 2022 for a production schedule if we get we decide on who our OEM partner is going to be, assuming they're going to build it in their factories, which saves us a ton of time and money.
How much is that going to cost? What about the price range?
The Badger will be priced between $60,000 and $90,000 depending on option. So pretty aggressively, because the brand new trucks now, like a new F-150 Raptor, they're expensive. So you could actually buy this cheaper than some of the gas models, but not all of them. Some of them are cheaper.
Mm-hmm. Are you, you said you're going to aiming for production in 2022. Are you concerned about the upcoming recession? If there's one that's going to hurt pickup sales?
Not really for us, because what's cool about Nikola is we're a brand new company, right? So all we have to go is up. We're not building 3 million cars right now. We're brand new. So 5, 10, 20, 30,000 trucks a year is awesome. You're talking about billions of dollars of revenue. Mm-hmm. That's what people want to see. And so it might take some time to get there, but they love us. They're patient with us. Investors love what we're doing. We're changing the world. We're getting rid of emissions. We're solving the second largest polluter in the world, that transportation market, the heavy duty. And it's Nikola pioneering it. I mean, everyone else is following us, and so we're going to be slow. It's okay. People don't expect us to have hundreds of thousands of vehicles out day one. We don't want that. We want to run slow. There's a 10-year process or 20-year, and we're not worried about what happens over the next 12 months more than the second 12 months. We're really just focused on executing our vision.
Mm-hmm. But your stock price is moving really fast compared to what you just said. Nikola stock is currently trading at about twice your IPO price, which values the company at $24 billion, I think.
Where's it at right now I think
it closed at 66 last time I checked.
Okay. Yeah, so 64, it looks like it, somewhere around 64 today. I mean, the idea is that, that's why I didn't even know the number. I don't even really watch the stock price that much, but I do know this. Yes, we are worth more than even some of the biggest. A few days ago, we were worth more than Ford. Mm-hmm. That obviously gets them really mad. They don't like that idea that someone new can ever beat them. That we're worth more than like Fiat and a lot of other brands. It's not a knock on them, but what they don't realize is my generation they want complete change for the better. These guys are still building diesels in the millions. They don't give a crap. They're only building 1 or 2 electric cars to keep their corporate job. They don't truly believe in electrification. We do. It's all we do. So my generation, the older generation can mock us all they want, but the younger generation, they call them the Robin Hood traders or whatever, the millennials or whatever. I'm a little bit before that. I'm almost 40 now. I'm 38. But my generation cares more about about fixing big complex problems than they do like that quarter's profitability and how many people you screwed to get that money. My business is not about how many people I can screw. It's about how many people I can help. And that's why our valuation is higher, and they'll never understand it because they are not the same people we are.
Interesting. I have a last question. So when Nikola went public through a reverse merger with Vecto IQ, is that right?
Yep.
You stepped down from the CEO job and became the chairman. Is that a proposal from your new board, like maybe, you know, having you be a CEO and chairman at the same time of a public company might be too much power?
No, well, actually, I stepped up. I always laugh about that. But the executive chairman is the most powerful person in the whole company because they control the board and the CEO reports to him. The CEO is one of my great friends. He was our previous president and he bought my previous company. So we have almost 7 to 10 years of history together. We trust each other immensely, and there's no one I would rather have running this company with me than him. I needed someone that had publicly traded experience, that knew what they were doing. And the investors did ask us to separate those jobs because what you don't want is you don't want only one opinion in the boardroom. Look, I control the company. I control the board. I have a majority shares. They don't want one person controlling everything. And so by having a great CEO there that has experience, having two people tell you something is a lot more, you understand it a lot better than just one person always telling you. So I think for corporate governance, it's smart to have that separation. And that's why I have Mark Russell as my CEO.